Hi Aquarius, this is your mid-June tarot reading. So basically I've done a 10 card Celtic cross. So for you now, you've got the Hanged Man. So this talks about making sacrifices. This talks about feeling like we've got to put ourselves on hold for something, for a situation. It could be about taking a halt right now in a situation. We feel like we're hanging around, like we're waiting. If projected onto others, we could feel like they kind of hung up. We could feel like they're a little bit crazy, or but mainly what I'm getting from this is it's like you've been through a period where you felt like you've kind of been victimized, kind of held up, kind of almost like someone's hanging you up like a traitor, because back in the day this would be the card of hanging up a traitor, and then everyone's booing at them. But it's also a card of having strong principles. This guy, he's ready to go to the gallows no matter what, because he's kind of defending his principles. It feels like somebody could be kind of trying to reframe you, who you are, and this is about you standing up in defense of who you are. It's also kind of about letting go and letting God. This is it's like sometimes with this card, it's like it can talk about a new spiritual awareness, but it's almost like there's a saying that says something about those that God calls, he gives the most affliction to, or something like that. So it's almost that. It's like you've been through so much, and now it's just about letting go and letting God. It can talk about sacrifice, about sacrificing yourself by letting go and letting God take over, not feeling like you have to defend anything. If this is your time, this is your time, so to speak, and if God's gonna send someone to save you, he's gonna save you. This is kind of what's going through this guy's head as he's on this gallows, but he's very principled. He's standing up for his beliefs. So in the past, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Now, this is talking about, it's kind of mirroring the Hangman in a sense, but the Hangman is kind of moving a stage along. The Hangman's kind of like, oh well, what's going to be will be. So this is coming from the past, and it's almost like a feeling left out in the cold card, feeling like we're isolated, feeling like there's not much help around for us, feeling like we've kind of been left out on the doorstep with this child. It can also talk about problems with relationships. I think there was one thing that I read about this card, and it was saying that the woman related to it because it's like she was watching her partner and his girlfriend through the window, but that's like the spiral tarot. But this is saying that it's feeling left out in the cold. It's feeling like the only person that you have to turn to is yourself. So it's also a card of feeling like, or worrying about it, because these gears are also like gears of worry. Yeah, just feeling that it's like worrying about how others see you as well. But this is also talking about how sometimes relationships can affect us financially. Yeah, so this can talk about relationships that could have possibly affected us financially, or worrying about finances, feeling out in the cold financially. Okay, so what you've got crossing you is the Three of Wands. So this is you wanting to make new plans for the future. This is you deciding where you're going to go next. This is like a turnaround of energy, which is good. This is saying that you're prepared to move forward. You're prepared to see that there's an open door that's waiting for you. You just have to step through it. It's about making plans. It's about moving forward. It's about something coming through for you as well. Something coming through that you've put a little bit of effort into recently. It could be a creative endeavor. It could be something to do with one of your passions. It could be to do with moving forward in your work life. This card can also talk about travel as well. So the root of your problem is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So this card is asking me to ask you, have you been taking care of yourself lately? Have you been like not putting as much effort into yourself or your surroundings, your home? It can talk about wanting a sense of freedom. It can talk about wanting a sense of financial freedom, not having a sense of financial freedom. It can talk about letting things really go in terms of your home or yourself. Or it can talk about being so on top of it that it's kind of like an OCD. It's like very, very, very clean. It can also be an earth sign in reverse. This can be somebody who's very possessive, very jealous, quite restrictive, not wanting to put into the home. It can also talk about just needing to kind of escape is what I'm getting from this card. There's some restrictions that you want to escape from. This could also be like wanting to find a new home. So above that, what's in your thoughts, you've got the Ten of Cups. So emotionally, you're wanting to move to a place that's more stable. You're wanting to have this happy family, picket fence kind of emotional stability, and it's saying that you can access it. This is a good home life. This is saying that you have things that are around you that are looking very good and keep you emotionally stable. So moving into your future, you've got the Six of Pentacles. This can talk about a giving and a receiving, an exchange. This can talk about doing charity work. This can talk about loans being repaid. This can talk about money coming back in. This can also talk about splitting of assets, and getting into more of a balanced state in terms of money, being financially balanced. So this is in the future for you, or it could be now as we are in the end of June. So this is you as yourself. You've got the Magician. So this is saying that you have the power at your disposal this month. You're wanting to move forward with new beginnings, new creative endeavors. This is somebody who knows how to use everything that they've got at their disposal. They're very creative, they're very good at communication. This is somebody who can reach out. It's also somebody that can be a little bit clever, cunning, with a bit of guile. They can be a little bit cunning, but it can also talk about using this as kind of part of your armor, so to speak. But yeah, this is a good card to represent you right now. This is saying that basically you have everything at your disposal. This is a good communications card. I feel like you're good at communicating right now. So then, in terms of your environment, I feel like you're going against the grain. You're doing what is not expected of you. You're going against tradition. It can also talk about a divorce. It can also talk about being careful about looking up to others as your kind of spiritual kind of savior, as your mentor. It can talk about people or institutions that we're kind of going against. It's kind of like we're doing things in our own way, in our own time. It's kind of like you're taking charge of your own beliefs and your own kind of motives moving forward, let's say. It's almost like I'm getting that you're taking charge of your own sense of spirituality this month, Aquarius. Okay, so in terms of your fears are that something may not go your way. There's like a court case maybe, or a feeling of something not being fair, something not being just. It can also just say that, are you being fair in all situations? Are you being do you feel like people are criticizing you, or are you doing a lot of criticizing of others? It's asking you to kind of keep things fair, keep things balanced. Look at it in another way. I feel like you could be looking at a situation using more emotion and less logic. So this is kind of asking you to possibly use a little bit more logic. It can also talk about feeling like there's kind of like a guilty conscience, and weighing up whether we feel like things have been fair or not, but that's our actions as well as other people's actions. This can talk shamanically about going before God, going before the universe, and kind of weighing our heart on a feather. So it's just asking us to be a little bit more fair this month, and to look at things with a little bit more logic. But it can also talk about losses in terms of court cases and things like that, or any type of feeling of injustice. But this is talking about authority as well. That the Hierophant in reverse can also talk about an energy of somebody being quite pompous, being quite arrogant, feeling like you want to go against authority this month. But with this card next to the Justice in reverse, I'd say to kind of leave that right alone. Don't fight against any kind of authority this month, because I don't feel like it will go in your favour. Or yeah, I don't feel like it. Hi guys, sorry about that. I did turn the ringer off my phone, but my computer decided to ring instead. I thought that would have cancelled that, but no. So anyway, your final card is about the King of Wands. Now, this is somebody who's very courageous, very creative, take risks, kind of takes creative risks to become an entrepreneur, to become a businessman. In terms of family, this is a good family card. This is like father knows best. This is a stern father, but a good father. It's about having courage, but having courage. He's very strong. Don't know if you can see, but he's kind of got a lion. See the lion on the back of the chair? Well, that lion, you can just about see one of its paws there. So he's very courageous, he's very regal, he's very strong, he's very passionate moving forward. This can talk about writing, this can talk about all forms of communication. But what I was going to say as well about the Justice card is that it's about... injustice sometimes is about strength without justice. So it's still asking you to stay strong, Aquarius. Whatever you're going through this month, it seems like it's turning around, because with the King of Wands as your outcome card, this is a businessman, this is creative, this is a family person, this is somebody who is in control of their fire energy. They know how to mold their passions, they know when to use their strength and when not to use it. So yeah, whatever you're going through this month, it seems like it's going to turn around for you this month, Aquarius. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.